moving ahead with something different. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's going to be fun. All right? I guarantee you're going to have an amazing time with the kids next week if they pull this off. I'm excited for it. You might want to bring their bathing suits, all right? Because there's something going on, or maybe a change of clothes, because there's something going on that's going to be really, really fun for them. And they're going to have a blast. And so invite your friends, okay? If you could do us a favor, if you could go to the TSC app, all right, whether it's on your iPhone or Google Play Store, make sure you go to the app, go to the events, all right, and it should take you to the Eventbrite. If you could register, it's free. This event is completely free. That's why you should invite as many people as possible. It's free. But if you RSVP, it lets us know how many people to expect for food. So it does us a great big favor when you do that, because then we know, okay, we got to serve 200 people or 300 people or 400 people, because these events can sometimes get big. And so it just helps us to know how many people to serve. So make sure to do that. Save this, share it on social media, hand it out to a friend, invite people, and RSVP. That would do us a big favor. Now, a couple other things. Halloween is coming up. Now, I don't like to give the enemy a holiday. A lot of Christians will be like, you know what? Halloween, that's for Satan, that's for the boogeyman, that's for whatever. I don't like to give them a holiday. I say we redeem and reclaim every single day for the Lord. Amen? That's what it's for. These are the days the Lord has made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. And so what we do as a church is we say, what can we do in order to be a light to the community? And we have these different things like Booville. You'll see that in your handout this morning. Booville's another thing that you can sign up for. We go to the city, and the city puts on this event. And yeah, there's going to be booths over there where people are like dressed up and things, but we go there in order to be a presence. And it's amazing how people from the city come up to us and say, we are the only church that actually partners with the city to go out there time after time to put a booth up to say, hey, we're a church in the community and we love you. And the workers come up to us and they ask for prayer. They're saying, I'm so stressed, I just need prayer. We are being God's presence to them. We advertise the church, we give out candy to the kids. And so if maybe you want to be a part of Booville, okay, you can sign up for that. Or the other thing is, on Halloween Day, we have these block parties. We're asking this year for our power groups to sponsor our block parties. Next week, I hope to have a list of those different locations. And if you want to go to any one of those locations and pass out full-size candy bars or hot dogs or waters, my house has sponsored this for the last 5 years. It's amazing. I've gotten to know my neighbors. They say, you're the house that gives us hot dogs on Halloween. You're the house that gives us full-size candy bars, because God is a big God. He's not a small God. It's not this little itty-bitty candy bar. He's a big God, okay? So we have a big candy bar, and we just share the love. It's amazing. Some of those neighbors have come into church. Some of those neighbors have said, hey, I want to experience what you guys, I know your house is to be the church house. So we come over and we invite them to different events, and it's amazing what some of the things that have happened in people's lives as they've come into church. You know why? Because the church is the instrument that God uses in order to share his love with the rest of the world. He says, on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades, the gates of hell, will not be able to prevail against it. It's through the church that God has used as the instrument, the assembly of God's people, to spread his love and his message to the rest of the world. It's what he's always used. And so we love it when people get into church, because we feel if we can get them into church, then something amazing will happen. And I'm excited to say that not even things happen just inside the building. It's amazing to be in the building, but even online. Next week, there's a lady who has been watching our service from another state, all right? She's gone, I think right now she's in Louisiana, because she's moved a couple times. And now she's in Louisiana. She's brought other people onto our live stream, and she has just been a faithful follower of TSC for a number of years. She messages me all the time. She says, this is my church community. And she said, Pastor Chris, how do I get baptized? I've given my life to Jesus. How do I get baptized? I said, Tina, I don't know. I don't know how to do a virtual baptism. I'd like put on the Oculus and we'll just do a virtual baptism, And I said, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. For our 9th birthday, we're going to fly you out. We're going to put you in a hotel and we're going to baptize her after the service next weekend. It's going to be an amazing time because here is somebody who says, this is my family. This is my community. And we're going to show her what community is all about. So we're going to spoil her for the weekend. It's going to be a great time. And so that's why I'm inviting you and telling you to come on out. All right? There's some exciting things happening this year. And so this is our time where we're going to support those things and transition into this morning's offering. Because Tony Evans says, salvation is free. It's by grace. But ministry costs something. And that's true. It does cost in order to be able to be in this place. It costs in order to continue to spread the message and gather people together in a space and to do what we do. It costs to fly Tina out and put her up. But it's all for the glory of God. Now, I don't tell you to give this morning because you have to. I'm not trying to pressure you and coerce you or manipulate you. If you're new this morning, don't give it all. You don't have to. All right? I just share this because this is the vision of the church, and sometimes people want to get behind what the church is doing and what it stands for. But I will tell you this as well. As I read this verse to you in Malachi 3, this verse has really touched my heart over the years. As someone who came into the church 20 years ago. I grew up in a Greek Orthodox church. I didn't give anything to the church. I fell away from the church for a number of years, and then I found God at about 20 years old. I came to church with my fiance at the time and ended up giving my life to Jesus, and then we got married, and she became my wife. And when I first started going to church, I remember them doing this offering tithing bit, and I hated it every single week. Like, my money's for me. I hardly get by. Like, what are you talking about? And this verse has touched me over the years. In Malachi 3:10, here's what it says. I'll read it to you. It says, in tithes and offerings, you're under a curse, your whole nation. And he's talking to the Israelites, because you are robbing me. Bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house. Test me in this, says the Lord Almighty, and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that there will not be room enough to store it. Now, a lot of times that verse is shared with a negative thing, like, you are robbing God. How dare you? I'm not coming at you this morning like that. I really dwell on this particular part where it says, test me in this. I'm not coming out with a health wealth gospel like you put in $1 and you get back $2, although many times that happens when you start to trust God and give him your tithes, that something amazing happens. I have people who have come up to me and told me that same week I had a blessing. That same month I got a promotion. We don't know when that's going to happen. I'm not going to manipulate you and tell you that it's like an ATM machine with God, but I will tell you this. He's asking, do you trust him? That's really what tithing is about. Do you trust God? We just sang songs like, be the center of my world. We just sang songs of, God, you are the air in my lungs, the breath. You're all I need. Is that true? Or is that something we just sing and something that we say? I'll give you an example of what trust is. I remember when my kids were probably about 2 years old, and I'm inside the pool, and they're on the outside of the pool, and we've all been there before. Any single parent in here or child, maybe you remember, and the parent is saying, hey, jump to me. I got you. I'll catch you. And the kid goes right up to the edge of the pool, and a lot of times they'll look down and be like, nope, and they'll turn right around. I'm not making that leap. I'm not making that jump. There's a factor of trust that goes into that first step. There's a factor of trust that goes into that first leap. And You ever notice that once a kid finally actually jumps and you catch them, now they're like, what? Do it again. Do it again. And they'll get back up and they'll jump quicker. And they'll jump so fast that it's like, man, you got to slow down because I'm not even going to be able to catch you. Because why? Now they trust you. They've put their faith in you catching them. They put their faith in your security with them. They put their trust in you. That's ultimately what trust is. When we give to God, we are trusting God. He's saying, test me in this. Don't you trust me enough? Psalm chapter 4, verse 5 says, offer right sacrifices and put your trust in the Lord. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all these ways, God is asking, do you trust me? Because when you put what he has given you in your hands, because your jobs come from him, your houses come from him, your income comes from him, he opens up the doors for opportunities. When you put what he table in the back, there's a giving table if you're